lot going on in this conference and why it feels wild and unsettling for some people that they seem to be playing this Bronny game.
I just don't get it. I don't get the return. Like, I understand, like I saw Shaq say something like he wished he could have been able to play with his son. I feel like people are looking at this through the black father lens. And my thing is, y'all, we don't have to buy into the stereotype that black fathers ain't shit. Like, LeBron don't have to be the savior for all the negative stereotypes that we gonna look at it through this lens and say, we're not looking at this through competition. We're looking at this through nepotism and all these other things. Like, y'all, this is merit. Like, I feel like we've taken competition out of the discussion of what sports is supposed to be. Like, I felt like it was really taken out of context or out of the discussion when we talked about Caitlin Clark and people weren't allowed. Yeah. We can't say that people are allowed to be competitive or feel certain things. But like you said, everybody gonna be trying to get back on Bronny when he out there.
Yeah, like the point that I made when it first happened that went over so well. I understand these people looking at it through the context of LeBron as a father, but I'm shocked by how many people don't look at it through the context of Bronny as a son. Mm-hmm, and I do think that there's kind of like crumbling trust of institutions and all of this stuff. And people just look at it like, get it how you live, get in where you fit in, no matter what it is. And so this is what gets him to the league. Thereby it's the accomplishment because you got him to the league. I don't see it that way at all. I don't think being in the league when you know you don't belong there is good for your psyche. And I don't think this boy is under any delusions about whether or not he actually belongs in the NBA. Why? Because he has to guard these NBA players all the time. And I'm sure they're eating him up in practice and they're eating him up everywhere else because he's just not that good right now. Maybe there'll be a day that comes that he can be. But I don't think you send him to the D League and he's going to be down there scoring 25 points a game. No, I think he's going to be in the D League looking like the other dudes in the D League. He just look like LeBron James.
He looking like food. And you don't want to go to the G League and look like food.
No, man, these cats is playing for their supper, man. Like, that's one thing about this is that you got to really want it, especially if you come from where he comes from. And look, I can, like, off the top of my head, I can pull Gary Payton II as an example of a dude that probably don't need this money, but got it the long way, right? Went down to the D League, grinded it out. Dwayne Wade has a son that's trying to get it the long way, grinding out in the D League. So I don't want to say that if you somebody that comes from this measure of privilege, that you don't have it in you to get it out of the D League. No, it can happen. I'm asking the question about this dude. Like, is this really your dream in that way?
I'm asking the question about all of us. Did we not forget that this kid had a cardiac arrest a little over 12 months ago? Does it have to be on national TV on a Monday Night Football game for us to care that somebody damn near died? Is it because we didn't see it? It didn't happen. That's questions I got about all this stuff, man.
Yeah. And look, I mean, but I'll say this right fast on that, though. If they say he's healthy enough to play, then he's healthy enough to play. And I truly want whatever works out best for him. I would love if he just happened to be a 15-point-a-game scorer this year, right? If you told me that he turned into that next year, I would love every minute of it. I'm just asking who has watched that boy play basketball and thinks that that is a reasonable outcome.
Well, my point about the cardiac arrest thing is whenever we saw DeMar Hamlin, it was always viewed through the lens of he's a success story. We're happy that he is alive. He don't have to worry about this football thing. He can go do something else. And I know that, granted, football is a much more dangerous and physical sport, but the heart is the heart, man. And I ain't no doctor, but I just feel like we don't even pose the natural concern that we should pose for him because we're only viewing it through the context of his father. And I just think that is selling him short. And for us, it is a failing